There's something that has always haunted me about Twilight Princess. You're running through this dark, decaying Hyrule. Shadow beasts are raining from the sky, and suddenly this giant golden wolf comes out of nowhere. You follow it, and it turns into this ancient armored warrior. No name, no backstory, just this ghostly knight staring at you with its hollow eyes, ready to train you like it's the last thing he has left to do. And if you've been in the Zelda community long enough, you've probably heard the theories, or honestly the truth, that this ghost is the hero of time himself. Yeah, that Link. Ocarina of Time and Majora's Masks. The Link that defined a generation. But why is he here? And more importantly, why is he like this? This video is about the hero shade, his identity, and what has happened to him. And why his fate might just be the saddest in the entire series. Let's get into it. So first off, we're not just theorizing here. Nintendo has confirmed this one. In Hyrule Historia, they straight up say that the hero shade is the lingering spirit of the hero of time. That's our boy. The same Link from Ocarina of Time in Majora's Mask. He literally says, "At last, I have found someone worthy of inheriting my techniques." And in this line, this brutal line, a hero who does not carry the pride of a true hero, I died without passing on my knowledge. That hits different. Because here's the thing, this Link saved the entire kingdom. He beat Ganondorf, traveled through time, and even survived the fever dream that was Majora's Mask. And still, nobody remembers him. So the question is, how did it come to this? So, let's rewind a bit. At the end of Ocarina of Time, Zelda sends Link back to his childhood to live out a normal life. Seems like a happy ending, right? But that actually creates a split timeline. One where Ganondorf's attack never happens, and Link's adult self just kinda gets erased. So in the child timeline, Link remembers everything, but no one else does. That's lonely enough, but it gets worse. In Majora's Mask, he's off wandering the woods looking for a lost friend, like Navi. Now here's where it gets dark. In Zelda lore, it's said that if a person gets lost in the Lost Woods, they turn into a Stelphos. And what does the hero shade look like again? Armored, hollow-eyed, echoing voice. It's subtle, but the implication is heavy. Link might have died out there and became this undead warrior. He never found Navi. He never got closure, and he definitely never passed on his skills. Which brings us to Twilight Princess. When the hero shade first speaks to Twilight Princess Link, he calls him my child. That's not literal, but it is personal. Twilight Link is his descendant. This is a family thing. The hero shade wants someone in his bloodline to carry on what he had left behind. Not the fame, not the praise, but the skill, the pride of a true warrior. So every time he teaches you a new move, it's not just about combat, it's about legacy. Because that's what haunts him. He died without leaving anything behind. No one sang songs about him, no one knew his story. But if this new Link can learn his ways, maybe, just maybe, that legacy won't be lost. Before he shows up as a ghost knight, the hero shade appears as this spectral golden wolf. It's weird, right? But it's actually kind of poetic. Wolves are lone creatures, especially in stories. They represent isolation, solitude, and watching from the shadows. Just like him. And it's not random. Twilight Princess Link also becomes a wolf, meaning that there's this cool mirror going on between them. The wolf form connects the two across time and across life and death. Plus, wolves howl. And what's more haunting than a hero long forgotten, howling his sorrow to the wind? One question I always ask when thinking about the hero of time is, why didn't the gods intervene? Like, this is the guy who literally carried the Triforce of Courage. You'd think he'd get some kind of divine retirement plan, but no. He dies alone, unrecognized and unremembered. The most logical reason is because Zelda sent him back in time. His adult achievements never technically happened. No timeline remembers him. He saved the world, and no one even knows. Imagine that. You defeat evil itself, and your reward is total obscurity. It's tragic, and it's why his ghost won't rest. So here's the good news. At the end of Twilight Princess, after you learn the final hidden skill, the hero shade vanishes. He bows his head, and he fades away. No grand speech, no last words, just this quiet sense of peace. He's finally passed on his legacy. His descendant is strong, and his skills live on. And just like that, the forgotten hero finally gets the one thing he's been missing: purpose. Let's take a second to talk about the hidden skills themselves. Each move that the hero shade teaches you, it's not just a flashy sword technique, it's a fragment of who he was. These aren't tricks Link made up on the spot. These are refined, practiced, battle-tested abilities from someone who lived through the fall and rise of kingdoms. The mortal draw, the helm splitter, and the ending blow. Every single one of these is something the hero of time used to fight the monsters we'll never see again. He teaches them in a specific order too, like a mentor, slowly preparing his successor, not just for battle, but for the burden of being the hero. It's kind of poetic. He doesn't want Link to just win. He wants him to be ready, to survive the things he didn't. The more you sit with the idea of the hero shade, the more you start to feel the weight of loneliness. Imagine saving the world, then spending the rest of your life unable to talk about it. No one believes you, no one can believe you, and that kind of isolation breaks people. He wasn't just forgotten, he was invisible. After returning to his childhood, he couldn't just warn anyone about Ganondorf without risking the entire timeline. He couldn't just share what he had seen. So he became this quiet guardian, carrying all that trauma alone. No wonder he became the hero shade. He was already a ghost in life. One thing Zelda always nails is the idea of reincarnation. Link isn't always the same person. He's a spirit, a legacy, and a repeating cycle. But what makes the hero shade different is that he remembers. Most versions of Link don't carry over memories between timelines, but this one does. He's stuck between being mortal and being part of the eternal hero spirit that protects Hyrule. And maybe that's what hurts the most. He wasn't allowed to fully die. He wasn't allowed to fully live. He's this liminal being whose whole existence is tied to what he used to be, and he can't move on until someone takes up his sword. Now, here's a theory that I find very interesting. What if the hero shade wasn't supposed to be a one-off? What if at some point during development, Nintendo planned to bring him back in later titles? Maybe even as a guide or a spirit companion? There's actually cut content in Twilight Princess that suggests his role was once larger, more dialogues and even more backstory. He could have been a reoccurring mentor across the timeline, but instead, his story begins and ends in a cave, hidden in the corners of a game full of shadows. And maybe that's kind of perfect. His story isn't meant to be loud, it's meant to be remembered by those who look deeper. Here's the part that gets me. The hero of time wasn't bitter, he wasn't angry, and he didn't curse Hyrule or try to rewrite fate. He just wanted someone to be better. He made mistakes, he carried burdens that no one saw, and instead of letting them consume him, he turned them into lessons. He gave them to Link, to us. He said, "Here, learn from what I couldn't say, fight how I used to fight, and survive how I didn't." And in doing that, the hero shade became something no monster or god could erase. He became the legacy itself, associated with Link, regret. The hero of time saved everything, and yet deep down, you can feel it. He doesn't see his journey as complete. Why? Because he didn't get to teach. He didn't get to prepare for the next generation. He lived with the weight of experience, the pain of knowing what's coming and being unable to stop it. Think about that. He knew Ganondorf would rise again. He knew darkness always returns, but he couldn't be there, and he couldn't be there to stop it. And so he waited in spirit, not to fight again, but to warn, to whisper across time and make sure that the next Link had something he didn't. Legacy is a beautiful word, but it's also heavy. For the hero shade, legacy wasn't medals and songs. It was unfinished business. He was a hero, but also a soldier with no war left to fight. A teacher with no student. And that's the tragedy. We all want to be remembered for something, but when you give everything for a cause, and the world moves on without you, what's left? He wasn't angry, he wasn't evil, he just couldn't let it go. And that's kind of a burden that hits different. Not one born of ego, but of purpose denied. One of the wildest things about the hero shade is that he never says his name. Not once. He never says, "I'm Link," never demands recognition. He's just the shade. And there's something really poetic about that, because this version of Link, he's not seeking credit. He's not trying to rewrite history in actions and in scars passed from blade to blade. It's almost like he's saying, you don't need to know my name, you just need to know what I learned. That's not just a ghost, that's a mentor. And in a way, that's still the hero of time doing what he's always done, helping others survive what he couldn't. So now we know, the hero shade isn't just some cool cameo. He's the heart of the Zelda timeline. He's a reminder that even the greatest of heroes can still be forgotten. But that doesn't mean that their story ends. Because as long as someone remembers him, someone learns from him, he never truly fades. And maybe that's the most heroic thing of all. He didn't need a statue. He didn't need praise. He just needed someone to listen. Someone to carry the sword forward. And now, that someone is you. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe for more Zelda lore videos like this one, and I'll see you in the next video.